How does Turner see the global opportunity? And is your work informed by a strategy, an articulated strategy?
Well, yeah, I'd like to think so. I mean, we are part of Time Warner. I'm just counting my good fortune. I'm on the right side of the fence and paid an arm and a leg. The Turner bit isn't. Josh is, I can assure you. But no, we do consider ourselves very lucky, actually, in the position we're in. And global is a big part of the strategy. I mean, Turner, we're probably in excess of 200 million homes outside of the US across 30 channel brands, so quite a significant global business. And it's not surprising that we're talking about global here, because you look at any other industry, retail, travel, banking, these are global industries, and therefore so is media, and that does make for a slightly homogenised business in certain instances, but so there's also pockets of creativity within that. The one thing I would say is that yes, to have a profitable model, it will be desirable where you can to have a global strategy. But what looks good on a spreadsheet doesn't necessarily wash out at the end of the day. As you start to go, global becomes local very quickly, whether it's dubbing issues, whether it's regulation like we heard this morning, or rights. These can start to cut into your margins very, very quickly. And certainly the view we've got is global is good. But then you start to look at the various sort of clusters of what global means. So it's an Africa strategy, it's a Middle East strategy. And if you're trying to apply Western values onto an African or Russian audience, it simply isn't going to work. And that involves costs and thought and what have you. So yes, global is good. I'm glad we can. However, there a lot of work is involved in making that global content work in each market. And I'd just like to pick up on a couple of other things that Claire raised, if I may. The idea that as we look at these global business models, we look at scalable business models, and digital is interesting, but at best it's an incremental part of a bigger picture. With something like consumer products, again, it's something you can leverage globally, and it's got scale to it. And a successful consumer products, a home video business, has a positive effect on your television content in terms of giving that longevity. So there's many, many moving parts to any business that involves filmed entertainment, whether that's TV or movie. The other thing, and again, it's such a big topic we're covering, but it's such an important point, this kind of thought process around algorithms, this thing, Google invented, that the methods of how people find content on the web will soon be how they find television and film content on whatever flat screen they're viewing. We're spending an awful lot of time trying to understand how we meta tag and identify our content. So in an unregulated world of the EPG, our content can be found quickly and efficiently, and that's a pretty big challenge moving forward as a value chain kind of changes. Are you
engaged? Because Turner has CNN.
Yes.
And CNN, it has a global footprint. It is a global brand. Is there a migration of trying to get CNN as an audiovisual service onto the mobile into the mobile space? Is that important? Will entertainment follow behind that?
Yeah, we've got global propositions in both news and kids. That's probably the sort of biggest footprint of it for global brands, obviously the Cartoon Network and CNN. And for different reasons, they are at the forefront of online and mobile. I mean, the CNN.com is a significant business and a significant customer acquisition tool for us, as is mobile. I think of our core target audience on CNN, which we call global achievers. People earn lots of money and taking lots of flights. We reach, I think it's about 30% of those through our mobile products. And that's a significant number of people. The other interesting thing is you go on to places like Africa. I say with the main, when we launched our mobile service, the spike of traffic from Africa was beyond our belief. And that's how people are accessing the internet, through a mobile phone, where they haven't got a broadband or even narrowband connection. So again, these tools are being used sort of tactically, depending where in the world or a consumer is. On the kids side, I mean, kids the time they have available, and the fact of this concept of time bending. They managed to put 9 hours of content into 5 hours through multitasking. That's very clear. And they warmly embrace all this stuff, and especially social networking, which is really interesting.